One God word, spoken with faith, has the power to command wealth to obey you for the rest of your life. Beloved, do you know the weight of your own tongue? Do you know that your very breath carries the current of creation itself? For in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. If the Word spoke galaxies into being, can it not also speak abundance into your life? The heavens and the earth respond not to your fears, but to your decree. What is it you have been decreeing over your days? Lack, delay, misfortune? Or have you dared to proclaim the word of wealth, the word of supply, the word of joy made manifest? For the law is exact. Whatsoever you speak in faith, that shall be established unto you. One word can lift you from poverty into plenty, from fear into fearless dominion. The God word waits on your lips, ready to move mountains, ready to break chains, ready to command wealth to obey you forever. Will you speak it? Will you dare to align your tongue with the language of heaven? For tonight, you shall learn the secret of divine speech, and your life will never be the same. If your soul longs to rise, if your spirit thirsts for freedom, stay with me now, and let us walk together into the great adventure of the spoken word. And before we go further, I ask you this. Are you ready to release the words of defeat from your tongue, and speak only the words of life? If you are, then claim it now. Subscribe, share this truth, and let the whole world know that you have chosen the God word that commands wealth forever. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The eternal rhythm of creation is spoken, not thought alone, not dreamed in silence, but voiced with the fire of conviction. Your tongue is the wand of the Spirit, your breath the carrier of miracles. Life obeys the decree of the one who dares to speak with faith. Every idle word bears fruit, every murmured doubt shapes matter, every bold affirmation opens the heavens. The word is not sound alone, it is vibration, it is light, it is the seed of divine substance clothed in syllables. When you speak in fear, you clothe shadows in form. When you speak in faith, you summon angels to labor for your good. Thomas Edison did not merely think of the light bulb, he declared it possible. He spoke to the darkness and said, "You shall yield." Walt Disney did not dream silently of castles and kingdoms. He walked among the ruins of his failures and still proclaimed, "The world shall see my vision." Carnegie, Hill, Martin, Troward, all of them understood that the tongue is a tool of wealth, that speech is substance. They did not bow to appearances. They commanded appearances to bow to their word. Beloved, I tell you, speak lack, and lack multiplies. Speak wealth, and wealth hastens. Speak fear, and fear floods the chambers of your house. Speak faith, and faith builds a palace of plenty. For the law is exact, impartial, eternal. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee. There is no exception, no loophole, no delay in spirit. Only your wavering heart halts the manifestation. Picture the farmer. He sows seed into the earth with absolute expectation. He does not dig up the seed to see if it grows. He does not curse the soil for slowness. He trusts the process. But many souls sow the seed of wealth with their morning word, and by noon they dig it up with complaints. They cancel the harvest with idle chatter. They declare faith on Sunday and lack on Monday. Beloved, the soil of divine substance is faithful, but you must keep your word planted, watered with praise, warmed by gratitude, guarded against the weeds of fear. Do you see? The tongue is the rudder of your destiny. Like a mighty ship in the storm, your life is turned by the smallest helm. Your words, "Speak I cannot," and you strike the reef. "Speak I can," and the winds of heaven propel you to harbor. One sentence can enslave you. One sentence can release you. Jesus himself said, "By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned." The verdict of your life is not decided in courts of men, but in the court of your own mouth. Consider the mystics and prophets of old. Moses lifted his rod and declared, "Stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord." And the Red Sea obeyed. Joshua commanded the sun and moon to stand still, and they held their course. Elijah spoke to the heavens, and fire fell. These were not men of timid lips. They were men who understood the law of the word. And Christ Jesus, our way shower, stilled the storm not by begging, not by striving, but by declaring, "Peace, be still." The sea hushed, the winds bowed. That same authority dwells in you. For every man and woman is given dominion, and dominion is exercised through speech. Dominion is not arrogance, it is alignment. When you speak the word in faith, you are not commanding apart from God. You are commanding as the instrument of God. The branch speaks with the authority of the vine, for the sap of spirit flows through it. When you declare wealth, it is not your human voice alone. It is God declaring his abundance through you. When you speak health, it is not vanity. It is God affirming his wholeness in you. Beloved soul, have you been careless with your speech? Have you rehearsed the language of limitation? Have you told the story of defeat so often that it has become flesh in your affairs? Then today is the day of reversal. Cancel every negative word spoken. Renounce every idle decree that built walls around your blessing. Begin anew. Speak as though every word were a check signed by heaven. Speak as though every syllable carved the architecture of your future, for indeed, it does. The word is creative, and it is magnetic. It not only shapes matter, it draws it. Speak of money as if it were your servant, not your master. Say, wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I am one with the riches of heaven, and all that I need now comes to me with ease and grace. And you shall see the gold, the clients, the opportunities, hasten as though your voice were a trumpet summoning them from the four corners of the earth. Prentice Mulford, that great metaphysician, declared that thought is a force, and words are thought clothed in form. Troward taught that spirit operates through the power of our spoken word. Annie Ricks Millett spoke of the tongue as the gate of heaven. These pioneers knew what Scripture has proclaimed for ages. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. What fruit have you been eating, bitter or sweet, poverty or plenty, weakness or strength? The harvest reveals the seed. Let your word be life, let your word be wealth, let your word be praise, for angels attend the lips of the faithful, and every decree of truth releases heavenly messengers to arrange your affairs. Speak with the confidence of a king, for the King of Kings dwells within you. Speak with the authority of a prophet, for the spirit of prophecy is your inheritance. Speak with the simplicity of a child, for the kingdom belongs to such as thou. E.C. Beloved, never again shall you say, I am poor. For to say I am poor is to invite poverty as your guest. Say instead, I am rich in the treasures of God, and wealth obeys me forever. Never again shall you say, I cannot afford. For that word builds iron bars around your good. Say instead, I can afford all that God desires for me, for his supply is infinite and his ways are marvelous. This is the law of the spoken word. You become what you declare. You walk in the world you announce. You live inside the sentences you choose. Words are not casual, they are causal. The word you speak is seed, and divine substance is the soil. The unseen is ever ready, fertile, waiting for command. The universe does not argue with you, nor does it question your worthiness. It does not measure how long you have suffered or how much you have prayed in despair. It hears only your decree, and it answers. For spirit respects speech. It has no choice but to obey. The creative law is exact, impersonal, unwavering. The voice of a beggar and the voice of a king are equal in its ears. Yet it is the beggar who says, I am needy, and the king who says, all is mine. Each receives according to his word. This is why Jesus, the master metaphysician, said, let your communication be, yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. For the wavering tongue brings confusion. The double-minded speech builds half a house and then tears it down with complaint. The uncertain decree plants seed and uproots it the same day, but the steadfast soul declares and holds the declaration, though storms rise, though appearances mock, though men laugh, and the decree comes to pass. Let me tell you this truth, appearances are the greatest deceivers. The senses are liars when they oppose the word of God. The man of spirit does not bow to evidence, he commands evidence to bow to him. When Edison was told it was impossible to bring light from a filament, he laughed at appearances. He spoke to his vision until the impossible bent. When Carnegie stood among steel and smoke, he spoke of a fortune, though others saw only labor and soot. They did not surrender to appearance, they decreed beyond it. Beloved, never speak what you do not wish to perpetuate. Never rehearse the tale of loss. Never clothe your fears in words. For to speak of fear is to carve it deeper into your life. I have known women who, in jest, declared, I am always unlucky in love, and so they walked a barren road. I have heard men laugh, I am always broke, and so the law delivered their request. For the law does not distinguish jest from seriousness, it hears only command. Every word you utter is a soldier sent forth to shape your life. Do you send them armed with faith, or do you send them shackled with doubt? The tongue is fire. Fire can warm a house or burn it to ashes. Likewise, words can heal a city or ruin a household. Orison Swett, Martin once wrote that the atmosphere of a man's words determines his fortune. This is eternal truth. The man who speaks kindly, gratefully, with hope, surrounds himself with a magnetic current that draws opportunity. The one who speaks bitterly surrounds himself with a smoke that chokes every blessing. Speech is vibration, and vibration is destiny. Even science now confesses this mystery. Dr. Masaru Emoto, in our later age, discovered that words spoken over water crystals changed their shape into beauty or distortion. If water obeys the word, and your body is water, how much more shall your life obey your decrees? Speak love, and your cells bloom. Speak fear, and your cells tremble. Speak health, and your body renews itself in the pattern of wholeness. Speak wealth, and every current of supply bends toward you like rivers converging upon the sea. This is why the saints of old chanted prayers aloud, why the mystics recited affirmations at dawn, why mantras were spoken, not hidden, for the word released in sound carries a vibration that shakes the ethers. Silent thought has power, but spoken word is thought multiplied by sound, clothed in breath, charged with fire. The silence is the seed, the word is the seed sown. Both are necessary, but the word begins the harvest. Do you recall the story of Jacob, who wrestled with the angel until the dawn? He would not release until he received his blessing. So too must you wrestle with your tongue until it is disciplined to bless only. Many of you bless and curse with the same mouth. You praise God in the morning and curse your circumstances at noon. You declare abundance in prayer and declare lack at the shop counter. Beloved, this ought not to be. A fountain cannot pour both bitter and sweet water. Train your lips to speak only the truth of spirit, and your life shall become a wellspring of miracles. Now some will say, but I have spoken words of faith, and nothing happened. And I tell you, did you speak once, and then revoke your decree with 10,000 words of doubt? Did you plant seed and then dig it up in impatience? The farmer knows the season. He does not command instant harvest, but trusts the invisible work of the soil. Faith holds steady. Faith praises before the fruit appears. Faith declares the word and leaves the outcome to divine right timing. For God is never late, though men grow weary in waiting. Do not grow weary. Every word of truth spoken returns fulfilled. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. This is not poetry, it is law. When you speak as the mouthpiece of God, your decree is guaranteed. Heaven and earth may pass away, but the word stands forever. Napoleon Hill wrote that the starting point of all achievement is desire. But I say unto you, the fulfillment of desire is speech. Desire without decree is stillborn. You must give it voice. Speak your vision aloud each day, as if announcing a royal edict. Say, this day, wealth obeys me. This day, I am guided to my perfect opportunities. This day, every door of supply swings open. Speak it, not once, but daily, with joy, with expectancy, with unwavering tone. The universe hears, and the machinery of manifestation moves. Think of the generals of history, whose armies awaited one command, one word, advance, and thousands moved. So too, the hosts of heaven wait upon your lips. Every angel, every unseen force, every current of divine substance waits for your decree. Yet many souls leave the hosts idle, for their lips are sealed with complaint or filled with silence. Beloved, awaken, speak the word. Command your army, let your affirmations be rich, bold, alive. Do not whisper half-heartedly, I wish I could be prosperous. Shout within your spirit, I am one with the infinite riches of God. Wealth is mine now. Do not murmur, I hope for healing. Declare, the life of God flows through me, renewing every atom of my being. Do not sigh, perhaps someday my good will come. Proclaim, now is the appointed time, now is my miracle, now I receive, for heaven responds to authority, not timidity. Even Carl Jung perceived that what we say to ourselves shapes our reality. He called it archetype and projection. But Spirit calls it the law of the word. Gurdjieff taught discipline of speech as a key to mastery. The sages of the East and the mystics of the West meet upon this one truth. Words are power, and when words are yoked with faith, they are irresistible. Beloved, you may look at your life today and see emptiness. You may see bills on your table, sickness in your body, loneliness in your house. Do not speak the evidence, speak the opposite. Say, this debt is wiped away by divine substance. This body is filled with the life of spirit. This home is flooded with love. Appearances will rage against your declaration, but stand firm. Speak as if it is done, for indeed, it is done in the invisible, and only time stands between you and the manifestation. Say to yourself even now, one word spoken in faith is stronger than 1,000 fears. One decree of truth cancels years of defeat. One affirmation, held and repeated, can open doors no man can shut. Write it upon the tablet of your heart. Wealth obeys my word. Health obeys my word. Love obeys my word. My life is the echo of my decree. The world is filled with men and women who failed not because they lacked talent or opportunity, but because they cursed themselves with their speech. I can't. It's too hard. I'll never make it. These words became law in their lives. And yet, the world is also filled with those who triumphed against impossible odds because they kept speaking their vision. I will. I am able. It shall be done. And their words carved highways through the wilderness. Which will you be? As long as you draw breath, you carry the wand of creation. Every sigh, every phrase, every sentence shapes tomorrow. Let no idle word slip past your lips. Speak with intention, speak with reverence, speak as if heaven listens, because heaven does. Beloved, remember this forever. The word spoken with faith commands wealth to obey you forever. Not for a moment, not for a season, but forever. Wealth is eternal substance, infinite in form, ever ready to appear where it is decreed. Speak today, and it begins. Speak tomorrow, and it multiplies. Speak until your whole being vibrates with the decree, and you shall see heaven's treasury pour into your affairs. This is the secret of the prophets, the mystics, the inventors, the millionaires, the poets, and the saints. They spoke as creators. They spoke with faith. They spoke against appearances, and the world conformed. So I say to you now, take up your wand, which is your word. Wield it with courage. Do not waste it on gossip or complaint. Do not dull it with doubt. Sharpen it with scripture. Polish it with praise. Ignite it with gratitude. And then speak. Speak to your mountains and watch them move. Speak to your storms and watch them still. Speak to your wealth and watch it obey you forever. For this is the law of the spoken word, eternal, unbreakable, inexhaustible. Heaven and earth stand ready. Your life awaits your command. Speak now and live the life divine. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Without faith, the word is powerless sound, an echo that dies in the air. With faith, the word is lightning, striking the ethers, igniting substance, birthing the invisible into form. Faith is the golden bridge from the unseen to the seen, from the promise to the possession, from the decree to the manifestation. Beloved, many speak the word, but few believe it. They speak in prayer and cancel it with doubt. They declare abundance and then question the method. They affirm healing and then rehearse their symptoms. And so their words fall to the ground like seeds upon stone. Faith is the water of the word. Faith germinates the deck. And births it into being. Without faith, speech is empty breath. With faith, speech is creation itself. What is faith? It is not hoping, not wishing, not vague optimism. Faith is divine knowing. Faith is the eye that sees beyond sight, the ear that hears beyond sound, the hand that grasps beyond touch. Faith does not tremble at appearances, nor does it bow to circumstances. Faith laughs at impossibility and cries, "It is done." Consider Abraham, called the father of faith. God promised him descendants as the stars, yet his body was aged, his wife barren. Still he staggered not at the promise of God, but was strong in faith, giving glory, and the word came to pass. Faith does not measure the condition, faith measures the word. Faith does not ask, "How shall it be?" Faith declares, "So it is." Andrew Carnegie was a poor boy in Scotland, yet by faith he believed in a world of abundance. He saw beyond the soot and smoke of the steel mills, beyond his small wage, and he spoke of wealth. He imagined wealth, he embodied wealth, and the world obeyed. Walt Disney was told by bankers that a talking mouse was foolishness, yet faith saw beyond their laughter. He proclaimed it, he built it, he lived it, and the kingdom of imagination rose. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times, yet faith told him that each failure was a stepping stone. He did not doubt the principle of light, he knew it would yield, and so it did. Beloved, the soul without faith is tossed like a leaf in the wind. One day he believes, the next he doubts. 1 hour she trusts, the next she trembles. Such instability produces nothing. The soil of manifestation requires steadfastness. Faith is the root that holds firm when storms rage. Faith is the anchor in the invisible. When you speak the word, hold it in faith as a mother holds her unborn child. She does not see it, yet she knows it lives. She prepares the room, she gathers the garments, she speaks of the child as present. That is faith. It is possession before evidence. It is preparation before sight. It is praise before proof. Beloved soul, faith is not built on appearances, it is built on God. Appearances shift, evidence deceives, feelings betray, but God is eternal. His supply is inexhaustible, his power unsearchable, his promises unbreakable. Faith anchors itself not in man, nor in circumstance, but in the rock of ages, and so it is unshakable. Faith is courageous. It dares to speak when others mock. It dares to stand when others fall. It dares to laugh in famine, to sing in prison, to rejoice in trial. Paul and Silas sang at midnight in chains, and the prison shook. Daniel prayed though the lions roared, and the lions bowed. David ran toward Goliath with faith in his God, and the giant fell. Faith is not timid. Faith is bold. Beloved, cultivate faith as a muscle. It grows with use. Speak small words of faith. Watch them come to pass, and your faith increases. Declare little victories, then greater ones. Trust God in daily needs, and you shall trust Him in mighty ones. Faith grows by exercise, not by theory. You cannot read yourself into faith. You must speak yourself into faith. Every declaration held against appearances strengthens your inner sight. Non-resistance is cousin to faith. For faith resists not the process, but flows with it. The impatient soul digs up the seed. The faithful soul waits with joy. The fearful soul forces. The faithful soul rests. Faith says, all things work together for my good. Faith says, though I see nothing, the harvest is already mine. Faith says, I rejoice in the invisible, for it is surer than the visible. Do not confuse faith with effort. Many strive, sweat, labor in human force, and call it faith. No, faith is rest. Faith is ease. Faith is the assurance that what is spoken shall be. This is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. Faith ceases striving and begins praising. Beloved, your words are mighty, but your faith is the breath that animates them. Words without faith are corpses. Words with faith are living beings. Speak as though God Himself speaks through you, and believe that every word returns fulfilled. Ella Wheeler. Wilcox wrote, you never can tell what your thoughts will do in bringing you hate or love, for thoughts are things, and their airy wings are swifter than carrier doves. If this be true of thought, how much more of faith-filled word? Faith is the current, the electricity that lights the bulb of your decree. Without current, the filament glows not. Without faith, the word manifests not. Beloved, train your imagination in faith. See yourself as already supplied, already healed, already victorious. Live from the result, not toward it. Walk in the palace though you dwell in the hut. Drive the chariot though you walk the road. Feast in your soul though the cupboard is bare. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. G.I. Gurdjieff spoke of the need for inner will, a force that holds intention beyond appearance. This is but another name for faith. Jung spoke of individuation, becoming whole beyond the masks of society. This too requires faith. Faith that the inner self is realer than the outer form. Swami Vivekananda thundered that faith in one's own divinity is the highest power. All these voices echo the eternal law. Without faith, there is no manifestation. Faith is contagious. Speak words of faith and those around you catch fire. Speak doubt, and you spread a plague. Surround yourself with those who believe, with those who affirm, with those who laugh at impossibility. Flee from the doubters, the mockers, the complainers, for their faithlessness will drain your strength. Walk with the faithful, and your decree will be multiplied. Beloved, faith is a song. Sing it in the morning, sing it in the night, sing it when the clouds are heavy. Sing, my good is sure, my welt. H is certain, my path is ordered, my God is faithful, and the song shall build a vibration that dissolves mountains. This is the mystery. Faith does not wait to see before it praises. Faith praises before it sees. Faith does not say, I will rejoice when the harvest comes. Faith says, I rejoice now, for the harvest is mine. Faith is celebration before evidence, thanksgiving before proof, and this vibration draws the good swiftly, for gratitude is the magnet of supply. Beloved, engrave this upon your heart. According to your faith be it unto you, not according to appearances, not according to effort, not according to labor, but according to faith. If you believe little, you receive little. If you believe greatly, you receive greatly. The measure of your life is the measure of your faith. So rise now in faith, speak your word, and believe it as eternal fact. Let no contradiction move you. Let no delay discourage you. Hold fast, rejoice, declare, and know it is done. For faith is the key, the bridge, the current, the power. Faith is the very hand of God moving through your decree. Therefore, say with me now in faith, I walk in divine abundance. Wealth obeys me forever. I am fearless, for my faith is in God. The unseen is more real than the seen. The word I have spoken is already fulfilled. It is done. It is done. It is done. Vision is the sculptor's chisel of the soul. Without vision, the word falls upon barren ground. Without vision, faith wanders blind. For faith must see, and the word must paint. God himself is the master artist, and man, his child, inherits the same brush. In the beginning, he beheld light before it burst forth. He saw form before dust arose. He envisioned man before breath was given. All creation is born first in the vision. Beloved, what picture do you hold in your inner gallery? Do you see lack, or do you see abundance? Do you see doors closed, or do you see doors open wide? Do you see yourself sick and small, or do you see yourself radiant, powerful, overflowing with life? For the law is this: what you continually behold within, you must behold without. The outer world is but the shadow of your inner film. You are projector and screen alike. Walt Disney saw castles while standing on swampland. He walked through empty fields, yet his eyes beheld kingdoms of joy. Bankers scoffed, experts mocked, but he refused to alter the picture. He painted with such conviction that the unseen bent into sight. Today, millions walk through his vision made stone. Thomas Edison saw light while others saw only darkness. Carnegie saw wealth while others saw only soot. Andrew Carnegie envisioned libraries in cities he had never walked, and faith plus vision drew them into form. Vision is the mold of manifestation. Divine substance is like molten gold. It requires a mold to take shape. Your inner image is that mold. Speak wealth, believe wealth, but without a vision of wealth, your decree floats formless. Speak health, believe health, but without a picture of vitality, your word is abstract. The imagination clothes the word in flesh. Beloved, guard your imagination. For many speak of faith, yet secretly they see defeat. They pray for health while picturing sickness. They affirm abundance while envisioning lack. They declare love while seeing betrayal. And so the law gives them the picture, not the prayer. For vision outweighs empty words. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The prophets of old were visionaries. Joseph dreamed of greatness, and though cast into prison, though betrayed, his vision lifted him to the throne. Ezekiel saw wheels within wheels. Daniel saw kingdoms rise and fall. John saw the New Jerusalem descending as a bride. Without vision, prophecy is impossible. Without vision, destiny is stillborn. What do you see, beloved? Close your eyes now and enter the inner temple. There, upon the screen of the soul, you may behold any world. See yourself walking in the home of your dreams. See yourself clothed in radiant health. See your bank account overflowing, your table abundant, your relationships drenched in harmony. Hold this picture, polish it, revisit it daily. Speak it, believe it, see it, and the universe must obey. For imagination is not fantasy, it is preview. Albert Einstein, prophet of science, declared, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." He saw equations before they were proved, galaxies before they were mapped. Vision is the forerunner of fact. Everything that exists was once unseen. The chair you sit upon was once an image in the mind of a craftsman. The device you hold was once a sketch in a dreamer's hand. The city you dwell in was once wilderness, until vision saw streets and towers. If man can build cities with vision, shall not God build your destiny with yours? Vision is holy. It is God's paintbrush in your soul. Do not despise it. Do not defile it with fear. Do not allow images of failure to live rent-free in your mind. Cast them out and replace them with pictures of truth. For images are prayers. Every image is an unspoken word, a silent decree. Hold an image long enough, and it becomes your world. Prentice Mulford taught that to imagine success is to magnetize it. Christian D. Larson proclaimed that the ideal held steadily becomes the real. Ernest Holmes declared that what you see in consciousness becomes your experience. All these voices echo the eternal scripture. Write the vision, and make it plain upon tablets, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Beloved, some of you have allowed the enemy of fear to pay. Not your vision. You replay disaster, betrayal, loss. You envision illness, ruin, rejection, and life obeys. But today, you reclaim the brush. Today, you wash the canvas with faith. Today, you paint wealth, health, love, joy, success. Today, you choose the vision of heaven, not the nightmare of fear. How shall you build vision? Enter the silence daily, close your eyes, and construct in detail what you desire. See the walls, hear the sounds, smell the air, taste the victory. Live in it until your heart thrills. Speak to it. This is mine now, by divine right. Give thanks as though it were present, and return, day after day, until the image is carved upon your soul. The stronger the picture, the swifter the manifestation. Vision is rehearsal. Actors rehearse before performance. Athletes visualize before victory. Generals strategize before battle. You must rehearse your blessing in the theater of the soul. See yourself signing the contract, holding the keys, receiving the check, walking in radiant health. Feel it, rejoice in it, praise God for it. This rehearsal is not pretense, it is prophecy. Beloved, vision requires purity. Do not mix images of faith with images of fear. Do not see wealth 1 hour and bankruptcy the next. Do not see healing one moment and sickness the next. A house divided cannot stand. Hold one vision, unwavering, and the law will obey. Do not let others steal your vision. Men will mock what they cannot see. They will call it foolishness, fantasy, delusion. But remember, Noah built an ark in a desert. He saw rain while others laughed. Columbus saw land where others saw endless sea. The Wright brothers saw flight where others saw folly. Visionaries are always ridiculed until the vision becomes fact. Hold fast, and let their laughter be fuel. Beloved, God himself speaks in vision, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions. Vision is divine inheritance. You are not blind clay, stumbling. You are a seer, a creator, a painter of destiny. So I ask you, what do you dare to see? Do you dare to see yourself free from every chain? Do you dare to see yourself wealthy beyond need? Do you dare to see your family restored, your body whole, your mind clear, your path radiant? Or will you bow to appearances and see only shadows? Vision is choice. You choose the picture, and life projects it. Beloved, hear this eternal command. Lift up now thine eyes, and look, for all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it. What you see inwardly, you shall walk outwardly. Lift up your eyes, see the promised land, see the harvest, see the glory, see the abundance, and walk toward it, for it is already yours. Your word is the decree, faith is the assurance, vision is the image. These three together form the triangle of creation. With them, nothing is impossible. Without them, nothing is secure. Word alone is seed, faith alone is soil, vision alone is mold. Together, they are the holy trinity of manifestation. So today, beloved, begin to see. Close your eyes and walk the palace halls. Close your eyes and feel the weight of the gold. Close your eyes and hear the laughter of your restored family. Close your eyes and taste the feast. Close your eyes and breathe the air of freedom. Let no one steal this vision. Hold it, polish it, declare it, believe it, and it must appear. For the law is sure, as within, so without. As you see, so shall it be. Therefore I say to you now, see plenty, and plenty will obey. See health, and health will obey. See joy, and joy will obey. See wealth, and wealth will obey forever. Right action is the bridge where vision becomes visible, where faith takes form, where the spoken word breathes in the world of matter. Many speak rightly, many believe strongly, many imagine clearly, yet they fail to move when the trumpet sounds. They wait for angels to carry them, forgetting that angels move with feet as well as wings. The law is not passive, the law is alive. It demands action, not frantic, fearful striving, but divinely ordered steps. Beloved, right action is not mere busyness. The world is crowded with those who labor endlessly, sweat bitterly, and yet reap little. Right action is not toil, it is obedience. It is the step taken in harmony with divine instruction. It is the move that flows from inner guidance, not outer pressure. It is the hand extended when spirit whispers, now. It is the silence kept when spirit says, wait. The scriptures cry, faith without works is dead. Not because faith is weak, but because faith is proven by obedience. Noah believed in rain, but he also built the ark. Abraham believed in promise, but he also journeyed from his homeland. David believed in victory, but he also ran toward the giant. Jesus himself, though Son of God, stretched forth his hand to heal, broke bread to multiply, spat upon clay to open eyes. Belief became movement, word became deed. Right action is effortless when born of spirit. It is the act that feels light, inevitable, natural. It is the open door you walk through without strain. It is the phone call you are led to make, the letter you are urged to write, the step you cannot resist. Many miss their miracle because they wait for lightning, yet God whispers in small tasks. Go wash in the pool of Siloam, Jesus told the blind man. Simple, ordinary, yet obedience unlocked sight. Right action is not always grand. It is often simple, precise, immediate. History is filled with those who moved when others hesitated. When the Wright brothers felt the pull of flight, they acted, not waiting for approval, not fearing ridicule, but building, testing, risking. Their right action turned vision into sky. When Andrew Carnegie saw the steel empire, he did not merely dream. He invested, built, acted with boldness. Walt Disney did not only sketch castles, he purchased swampland and set machines in motion. Faith clothed itself in deeds, and the world obeyed. Beloved, you may have spoken the word, believed it, seen it. Now comes the call to act. Do not delay. Delay is doubt dressed in reason. Delay is the thief of manifestation. Right action must be timely. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Plant when it is planting time, reap when it is reaping time. Obey the nudge, follow the whisper, act upon the light, for action delayed is blessing postponed. Some say, but I fear to act, lest I fail. And I answer, failure is only action without faith. When your steps are ordered of the Lord, failure is impossible. Appearances may wobble, circumstances may resist, but the end is sure. The righteous may stumble 7 times, yet rises each time, for the path is divinely secured. Right action may look foolish to men, yet it is wisdom to God. Noah's ark was folly until the flood. The shepherd boy's sling was folly until the giant fell. The fisherman's net was folly until it broke with harvest. Trust the act, not the opinion. Beloved, right action is free from force. It is not frantic striving, not desperate pushing, not manipulation of men. Right action flows. It carries peace, even in challenge. It carries assurance, even in risk. It feels inevitable, like the river running to the sea. When you act from fear, the way is heavy. When you act from faith, the way is light. Ask yourself, does this step bring peace, or does it bring dread? Peace is the sign of right action. Right action aligns with divine right timing. You cannot force the rose to bloom in winter, nor can you reap before the harvest is ripe. But when the season comes, you must move swiftly. Procrastination is as dangerous as haste. Both are out of alignment. Listen daily to the still small voice. Sometimes the instruction is go, sometimes it is wait. Both are action. 4. Waiting in faith is action as holy as moving in faith. Consider the life of George Mueller, who built orphanages by prayer alone. He did not merely pray and sit idle. He prayed and then opened doors, prepared rooms, set tables, though no food was visible. His action declared his faith. And each time, provision came at the 11th hour. He acted before the evidence appeared, and evidence appeared because he acted. This is right action, stepping into the invisible as though it were visible. Beloved, right action is always ethical. It does not deceive, manipulate, or harm. It is aligned with the higher law of love. Wealth gained by trickery is a house built on sand. Success purchased by cruelty collapses in time. Right action is clean, honest, loving. It blesses all it touches. If the step before you demands dishonor, it is not right action, no matter how profitable. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? Right action is courageous. Often it demands stepping into the unknown, leaving the familiar, risking reputation. Abraham left his land. Moses faced Pharaoh. Esther entered the king's chamber. Columbus sailed uncharted seas. All trembled, yet all obeyed. Courage is not absence of fear. It is movement in spite of fear, trusting that the pillar of cloud and fire guides the way. Beloved, some of you have prayed for years, yet your answer awaits one act. You have spoken, believed, envisioned, yet heaven waits for your feet. Arise, take up thy bed, and walk. The man at Bethesda was healed the moment he obeyed, not when he wished, not when he complained, but when he acted. So too, your miracle awaits your step. Arise, move, act, and manifestation meets you on the road. Do not despise small beginnings. One coin saved, one letter written, one act of kindness, one step of discipline. These are seeds of greatness. The mighty oak begins as an acorn. The empire begins with one bold purchase. The book begins with one sentence. The journey begins with one step, act, and the momentum of spirit carries you. Right action partners with non-resistance. When doors close, do not batter them. Turn, and another opens. When paths twist, do not curse them. Flow, and they reveal hidden treasure. For right action is not stubborn insistence, but flexible obedience. It is persistence married to surrender, courage clothed in humility. Beloved, remember always, right action is effortless miracle. You are not alone. When you act in alignment with spirit, unseen forces clear the way. The Lord shall go before you, and the God of Israel shall be your reward. He goes ahead to prepare, and follows behind to guard. Every act becomes amplified, every effort multiplied. What would take years by human strength unfolds swiftly by divine power. So act now, beloved. Make the call, write the vision, take the step, sow the seed. Do not delay. For the universe favors the bold, the obedient, the faithful. Say within your soul, my steps are ordered by the Lord. I act in divine wisdom. I move in divine timing. Every action I take is blessed, multiplied, and made perfect. I cannot fail, for God moves through me. And so it shall be. Right action brings forth the harvest. Right action turns word into flesh. Right action is the final key to manifestation. Therefore, go forth, speak, believe, see, and act. Act as if it were impossible to fail. Act as though heaven walks with you, because it does. Act, and wealth shall obey you forever. Beloved, the word has been spoken, faith has taken root, vision has been drawn upon the screen of your imagination, and right action has stirred your feet. Yet there is one more law that secures your harvest: divine timing. For even the purest seed, planted in perfect soil, watered with care, must wait for its season to bear fruit. You cannot rush the sun, nor hasten the rain, nor force the bud to bloom before its appointed hour. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. The wise soul learns to trust the rhythm of God's perfect clock. Impatience is the enemy of manifestation. Many souls abort their miracles by tearing up the soil to see if the seed is sprouting. They cry, "Why is it delayed? Why has it not yet come?" Yet Spirit answers, "It is not delayed, it is maturing." For the unseen work is as vital as the seen. The root must grow deep before the stalk can rise high. The foundation must be laid strong before the tower can ascend. The cocoon must hold the butterfly in darkness until its wings are ready. Divine timing is never late, never early. It is exact. Consider Joseph, the dreamer of Israel. He spoke his vision too soon, and envy cast him into the pit. Yet the pit led to Potiphar's house, the house to the prison to the palace. Each stage was timed by heaven. Had he risen before his appointed hour, Egypt would have starved and his family perished. Yet at the precise season, Pharaoh dreamed, Joseph interpreted, and the famine was overcome. Beloved, your palace awaits, but the prison may be part of your timing. Do not despise the holding places of life, for they are preparation chambers. Think of Moses, raised in Pharaoh's court, strong in might, wise in speech. At 40, he struck an Egyptian, thinking the time of deliverance had come. Yet it was premature. He fled to the desert for 40 more years, herding sheep, until the burning bush called him forth. At 80, when men deem life nearly done, his real mission began. Beloved, heaven wastes no time. The decades in the desert were not wasted years. They were the forging of meekness, patience, and obedience. Had he acted sooner, he would have failed. At the right hour, seas parted. Divine timing humbles the proud and lifts the lowly. David was anointed king as a boy, yet he returned to the sheepfold. Years passed, battles raged, Saul pursued him. Many would have seized the throne by force, yet David said, "I will not stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed." He waited, trusting the promise. When the crown came, it came without blood on his hands. Beloved, the promise is sure, but the crown is only beautiful when received in its appointed time. Premature success is a curse. Timely success is eternal. Even our Master, Jesus, walked in divine timing. How often did he say, "My hour has not yet come"? At the wedding of Cana, he withheld until the appointed sign. In Jerusalem, he slipped through the crowd, for his hour had not arrived. But when the fullness of time came, he set his face toward Calvary. Nothing could hasten him, nothing could delay him. He moved in perfect rhythm with the Father's will. Beloved, when you align with this timing, you become untouchable until your purpose is complete. No enemy can take your life, no delay can withhold your blessing, no force can steal your portion. History reveals this law again and again. Thomas Edison endured 1,000 failed experiments before the light bulb shone. What if he had stopped at 999? Divine timing required persistence until the breakthrough was ripe. Henry Ford faced bankruptcy before success. Abraham Lincoln lost election after election before the presidency. Each defeat was a chisel, shaping character for the appointed moment. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination, yet in time, his vision birthed kingdoms of wonder. Divine timing vindicates those who refuse to quit. Beloved, impatience is born of fear, the fear that God has forgotten, the fear that the supply will not come, the fear that time will run out. Yet perfect love casts out fear. God is never late. Delay is not denial, it is divine alignment. When the hour strikes, what seemed impossible suddenly unfolds with ease. The Red Sea does not part a moment too soon, lest Pharaoh refuse the chase. It does not part a moment too late, lest Israel perish. It parts at the exact step when faith meets the shore. So it is with your life. Divine timing works in silence. You may see no sign, no evidence, no stir, yet heaven's machinery turns. Seeds sprout underground before breaking soil. Babies form in the womb before they cry aloud. Stars shine for millennia before human eyes discover them. So too, your miracle may already be unfolding in secret. Trust the process unseen. Say daily, in God's right time, my good appears. I rest in the rhythm of heaven. I do not strain, I do not fear, I do not doubt. My season is secure. Beloved, waiting is not idleness, it is active trust. It is expectancy without anxiety, peace without pressure. The farmer does not dig the field each morning. He waters, he waits, he watches. He prepares the barn, sharpens the tools, readies the harvesters. Waiting in faith is preparation for manifestation. When the door opens, you must be ready to walk through. Do not waste the waiting. Use it to grow, to learn, to purify, to strengthen. Then, when the time comes, you shall not stumble. There is danger in forcing. Many have snatched blessings too soon, only to watch them wither. Relationships seized before maturity collapse. Businesses launched without wisdom fail. Dreams forced by pride turn to dust. Beloved, trust that what is yours will not pass you by. What belongs to you by divine decree cannot be stolen, cannot be lost, cannot be delayed beyond its appointed hour. Rest in this truth and cease from striving. Divine timing is harmony. The planets move in orbit, the tides flow with the moon, the seasons turn with the sun. All creation sings in rhythm. Why should your life be discordant? Align with the great symphony, and you shall find rest. Misalignment breeds chaos, anxiety, frustration. Alignment brings peace, flow, grace. Say within, I am in step with eternity. My life moves in cadence with heaven's song. I am never late, never early. I arrive in perfection. Beloved, do not envy another's season. The rose blooms in June, the chrysanthemum in October, yet both are glorious. Some souls bloom early, some late, yet each in divine order. Comparison poisons trust. Celebrate your timing. The fig tree may seem barren, yet in its appointed season, it shall bear fruit. Trust your cycle. Honor your rhythm. Sometimes divine timing requires pruning. Doors close, friendships fade, opportunities dissolve. Do not weep. Pruning is preparation for greater growth. A branch cut back bears more fruit. Joseph's betrayal was pruning. Ruth's widowhood was pruning. Yet both led to glory beyond imagining. Trust the shears of heaven. What is cut away makes room for abundance. Beloved, let us affirm, I am patient, I am trusting, I am aligned. My good comes at the appointed hour. I release anxiety, I release haste, I release fear. Divine timing governs my life. I cannot miss my destiny. My season comes, my harvest ripens, my joy appears. It is so, and it cannot be otherwise. Therefore, rest in the rhythm of God. Walk with peace, act with courage, wait with trust. For when the clock of heaven strikes, no man can stop your blessing. When the door opens, no power can shut it. When the hour comes, manifestation floods like a river. Trust divine timing, beloved, and wealth shall obey you forever. Beloved, the universe was never conquered by force. Seas do not part by struggling against them. Mountains do not move by battering them. Wealth does not answer to striving or strain. The Spirit whispers a higher law, non-resistance. For resistance breeds opposition, but surrender to the divine current brings miracles. Jesus said, resist not evil. To resist is to magnify the obstacle, to pour the energy of your thought into the very thing you despise. What you fight, you feed. What you curse, you attract. But what you release into the hands of God dissolves as morning mist before the rising sun. Non-resistance is not passive, beloved. It is active alignment. It is the art of yielding to the divine flow, as the sail yields to the wind and yet crosses the sea with power. The weak fight the tide and drown. The wise adjust their sails and arrive with ease. Non-resistance is the soul's agreement with heaven's design. When you cease from struggle, you discover that the current carries you. You were not meant to swim upstream in exhaustion, but to glide with the river that knows its destination. The human will in pride cries, I will make it happen by force. It pushes, it strains, it grasps. Yet the law answers, what you grasp you lose, what you force you break. The wise soul releases. Release is not loss, it is the doorway to gain. To release bitterness is to inherit peace. To release fear is to inherit faith. To release control is to inherit miracles. The hand clenched in resistance holds nothing. The hand open in surrender receives everything. Consider the Master upon the cross. No greater non-resistance has ever been seen. He could have called 12 legions of angels. He could have fought, resisted, struck back. Yet he yielded, saying, Into thy hands I commend my spirit. What seemed defeat was eternal victory. Death itself was swallowed in life. Beloved, your crucifixions, your betrayals, your wounds, if met with resistance, they breed bitterness. If met with non-resistance, they resurrect you into glory. Look at water, beloved, the supreme teacher of non-resistance. It flows where stone cannot. It bends, yet wears away the rock. It yields, yet it conquers. It adapts to the vessel, yet never loses itself. It finds the lowest place, yet nourishes all. Lao Tzu, the sage of the Ta. Oh, saw it. Nothing is softer than water, yet nothing can resist it. Non-resistance is water's wisdom, and water is wealth itself. Does it not seek channels, pools, streams? To resist it is to dam the flow. To align with it is to prosper. Think of the oak tree in a storm. The rigid branch snaps beneath the wind, but the willow, bending, survives. Many souls break because they refuse to bend. They resist change, resist correction, resist the unknown. Yet life is change, and to flow with it is to live. Non-resistance bends with grace and stands unbroken. Beloved, non-resistance dissolves enemies. What is an enemy but resistance embodied? Agree with thine adversary quickly, said the Christ. Agreement does not mean surrendering to injustice, but ceasing to wrestle in fear. When you agree in spirit, you rise above the plane of conflict. The enemy loses power because you refuse to feed the battle. Hatred cannot cling to one who loves. Criticism cannot wound one who does not resist. When Jesus stood silent before Pilate, his calm was greater than empire. The empire fell, but his word remains eternal. Non-resistance opens the gate to wealth. Many souls chase money, clutch it, strive for it, and wealth flees. For money is like a shy guest. It will not enter where it is hunted. But when you release the strain, when you say, money comes to me in perfect ways, I am one with the flow of divine substance, it arrives unforced, as naturally as the tide. Resistance to debt, resistance to bills, resistance to lack, these magnify lack. But non-resistance saying, God is my supply, and his supply is infinite, transforms debt into freedom. Napoleon Hill wrote of Carnegie's wisdom, wealth answers to the mind at ease. Andrew Carnegie, master of steel, said that his greatest secret was this. He never resisted circumstances. He flowed with men, with markets, with changes. Others fought the tide and drowned. He rode it to empire. Walt Disney, faced with bankruptcy, did not resist. He reimagined, rebuilt, and yielded. Dead to new vision. Non-resistance birthed castles of wonder. Beloved, non-resistance is not apathy. It is not weakness. It is the highest form of faith. To resist is to declare, I must fight, for God is not enough. To yield is to say, God fights my battles. I need only to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Moses heard this at the Red Sea. Stand still. Resistance would have drowned Israel in panic. Non-resistance parted the waters. Resistance breeds fear, but non-resistance breeds creativity. Thomas Edison, after 1,000 failures, laughed and said, I have found 1,000 ways that will not work. He did not resist failure, he absorbed it, flowed with it, and discovered light. Resistance would have quit in anger. Non-resistance produced invention. Beloved, let us affirm, I release the need to fight, to struggle, to strain. I am in harmony with divine flow. I yield to God, and I conquer by surrender. What resists me dissolves, what opposes me fades, what frightens me bows. I am one with the river of life, and it carries me to abundance. Non-resistance transforms relationships. The quarrels of households, the wars of nations, are born of resistance, the clashing of egos, the pushing of wills. But when one soul chooses non-resistance, peace enters. Arguments dissolve when one refuses to fight. Wars cease when love answers hatred. Gandhi knew this law. His non-violent resistance, which was truly non-resistance, toppled an empire without a sword. The Christ spirit, embodied in meekness, is stronger than armies. Beloved, ask yourself, where do I resist? Do I resist change? Do I resist correction? Do I resist life's seasons? Do I resist God's timing? Release it. The struggle ends when you yield. The burden lifts when you stop carrying what heaven already bears. To resist is to live as if alone. To yield is to remember you are carried. Non-resistance is also forgiveness. To resist the past is to relive it. To forgive is to release it. Many souls clutch old wounds, rehearsing betrayals, replaying hurts. This is resistance, and it poisons the heart. Forgiveness releases. Forgiveness says, I hand it over to God. I will not wrestle with it again. Then peace flows, joy returns, and wealth comes. for the heart is open. Beloved, even sickness yields to non-resistance. The body that tenses in fear resists healing. The soul that surrenders says, God is my health, I let go, I receive. Healing often comes when the fight ceases, when the fear dissolves, when the heart rests. Many recover the moment they stop resisting illness with anxiety, and instead affirm health with trust. Non-resistance unlocks the body's divine order. This law must not be confused with laziness. The lazy man does nothing, but the non-resistant man does everything in flow. He works, but without strain. He moves, but without fear. He acts, but without anxiety. He trusts, and therefore his action is guided, his effort fruitful, his harvest sure. Non-resistance is ease, not idleness. Beloved, let us walk in this truth. The oak yields, the water flows, the Christ surrenders, and all are victorious. When you cease to resist, you rise. When you release, you receive. When you yield, you conquer. The wealth you sought by struggle comes by surrender. The peace you fought for comes by letting go. The doors you tried to force open swing free when you stop pushing. Therefore, declare it now. I resist nothing. I release everything. I flow with the divine. No man, no circumstance, no fear has power over me. I am one with the river of spirit. My supply comes with ease. My peace flows without strain. My wealth obeys forever. Beloved, non-resistance is the final polishing of the soul before manifestation, for when you resist nothing, you are open to receive everything. Beloved, manifestation is not a miracle reserved for saints, nor a secret held by mystics. Manifestation is the natural outcome of divine law. Just as the seed becomes the tree, just as the dawn follows the night, so does the spoken word become the visible form. You are never waiting for manifestation. Manifestation is waiting for you. For the universe holds every form already complete in the invisible, awaiting only the decree of faith to call it forth. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Creation did not appear by accident. Creation came by the spoken word, and you, made in the image of the Creator, hold the same power. When you speak in faith, the unseen becomes seen. When you speak in doubt, the seen becomes chaos. But the law is exact. Whatsoever is decreed in faith is established. Beloved, manifestation is simply divine substance clothed in form. Wealth is the substance of God. Health is the substance of God. Love is the substance of God. The world tells you to strive, to hoard, to struggle for these things. But the Spirit whispers, speak the word, and it shall be. You need not make the acorn struggle to become the oak. It is already decreed in its nature. So too, you need not struggle to become what God has spoken over you. You need only align your word with His word, and manifestation follows as surely as spring follows winter. The error of man is delay. Many cry, where is my manifestation? I have spoken, I have prayed, yet I see it not. Beloved, the moment you speak in faith, the form is born. The invisible womb receives it. The time between word and appearance is not delay, but gestation. A seed planted today does not bear fruit tomorrow, but its roots are already drinking, its life already growing. Resist not the unseen stage, for faith declares, though I see it not, it is mine, and the certainty hastens the appearance. Your word is your wand. The wand does not force, it directs. When you speak, you direct divine substance into shape. Every form in your life is the shadow of your spoken word. Speak fear, and fear takes form. Speak faith, and abundance takes form. Speak confusion, and chaos appears. Speak clarity, and order comes. Manifestation is the obedient servant of the tongue. Thomas Troward, the metaphysician, saw it. Thought is the mold, word is the command, and substance is the clay. To manifest is to mold the clay by thought, to command it by word, and to release it in non-resistance. The potter does not argue with clay, he shapes it. So too must you. The law of manifestation is artistry, not struggle. Look at history, beloved. Edison envisioned light and spoke it forth until it became the lamp. Carnegie envisioned wealth and directed men, industry, and steel into empires. Disney envisioned castles and worlds of wonder, and his spoken vision materialized into kingdoms where millions walk in delight. None of these men were given anything the beggar does not have, except faith in their word. The universe bent to their decree because they believed. Manifestation is not reserved for the great alone. It is the heritage of every soul. A mother who speaks health over her child, a merchant who speaks prosperity over his trade, a poet who speaks vision into words, all manifest as surely as the Titan of industry. For God is no respecter of persons, He is a respecter of faith. Beloved, do not confuse manifestation with imagination alone. Imagination is the blueprint, but word is the decree. Many imagine yet never speak. Many speak yet never believe. But the law requires the union of the two, vision held in faith, word spoken in authority. Believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them, said the Christ. Not, believe you shall receive, but believe you have received. Manifestation is present tense. Speak it as now, and it appears as now. Resistance is the enemy of manifestation. Many plant the seed, then dig it up to see if it grows. They say, it is not working, nothing is happening. This uproots the harvest. Beloved, let your decree rest in the soil of faith. Say it once in authority, and then thank God continually. Thanksgiving is the water of manifestation. To thank before seeing is to prove belief. The grateful soul receives swiftly. The doubting soul delays forever. Manifestation loves clarity. A vague word creates vague results. Speak with precision. Say not, I want wealth, for want begets want. Say, wealth now flows to me in perfect ways. I am one with infinite supply. Say not, I hope for health, for hope places it afar. Say, I am radiant with divine health now. Say not, I seek love, for seeking implies absence. Say, I am divinely loved, divinely cherished, divinely fulfilled. Speak with the authority of now, and manifestation bows. Beloved, manifestation multiplies when joined to service. Wealth hoarded collapses, wealth circulated expands. Health hoarded with fear weakens, health shared in joy strengthens. Love kept selfishly decays, love poured out multiplies. The law is circulation. As you release, more comes. The widow of Zarephath poured her last oil, and it multiplied without end. The boy gave his loaves and fishes, and thousands were fed. Release triggers manifestation. Do not fear obstacles. Obstacles are illusions dissolving in the path of faith. Florence told of the student who lost her possessions, yet declared, there is no loss in divine mind. Soon her goods returned multiplied. What seemed loss was only appearance, but her word called forth substance. The soul that clings to appearances loses, but the soul that clings to the word manifests without delay. Beloved, remember this. You manifest not by striving, but by being. The Christ within is the source of every form. When you speak his word, you call forth what already is. Wealth is not afar, it is within. Health is not afar, it is within. Joy is not afar, it is within. Manifestation is simply the unveiling of what you already are in spirit. Therefore, affirm now, all that is mine by divine right now appears. What belongs to me cannot be withheld. What is for me now comes with speed and ease. I walk in the visible wealth, visible health, visible joy of God. Beloved, manifestation is the song of completion. It is the banquet prepared. It is the harvest reaped, but it is never the end, for spirit is infinite. Each manifestation births a new vision, a new decree, a new harvest. The soul never ceases to speak, to create, to manifest. For to live is to manifest the kingdom of God upon the earth. So rise, beloved. Speak the word with faith. Hold the vision without wavering. Act in alignment with divine timing. Flow in non-resistance. And watch as manifestation crowns your life with abundance unspeakable. Your barns will overflow, your heart will rejoice, your body will shine with health, your days will sing with joy. For the law is exact, say this God-word, and wealth obeys forever. Beloved listener, if these words have awakened faith within you, if you have felt the fire of truth stirring your soul, then let this be your moment of decree. Speak in the comments the word you are manifesting. Declare it boldly, for when 2 or 3 agree, the law is quickened. And subscribe now, share this revelation, and let the world know that you have chosen the path of divine manifestation.